on, friends? Got a fun video for you guys today. It's Michigan, so pretty cold. Got to keep clearing this stuff off here until we get airborne. But today I'm going to be going over some of the things I needed to do for practicing for the Checkride. Today is the 5th of the month, and the Checkride is on the 16th. So what I've been doing is, going, of course, over all the different things you find in the A.C.S. And with this, if you're new to flying and you're thinking about getting into becoming a pilot, this is basically like the answers to the test, essentially. If you can go through these different skills, then and you actually master these skills, then you'll do just fine without any sort of surprises on your Checkride. So we're going to be looking over that a bit today. This is also a nice, important book. This is called the FAR AIM. This goes over all the federal regulations involved with general aviation. Basically, you also have the AIM section, which is more of the aeronautical knowledge and so forth. Anything that would not be listed in the FAR portion. So I've got everything kind of tabbed out based on the different things that I've found are required knowledge in the A.C.S. So when you take your oral exam, you have the ability to actually get in and have this book handy. They having quick reference to it is what they want to see, that you have access to the information if you need it. One of the main things that I've been told is important for the Checkride, as well as just important in general, is the actual checklists. Always important to use checklists for doing things like your pre-flight, your run-up, your startup procedures, your takeoff procedures, cruise. Basically, there's checklists for everything. A lot of people use checklists in life, even though we don't even realize it. In the medical profession, I'm basically a fourth-year med student, and we use lists every time we go into the OR. We have to run a list on each patient to make sure that we're operating on the correct body parts, that we know all of their allergies, things of that nature. And then basically, throughout the procedure, the nurses are always checking the list to make sure that every piece of equipment is accounted for. So we're not leaving needles, sponges, things like that, anywhere where it shouldn't be around the patient. Before I was in med school, I was in, bands. I was the lead singer of a band called Fuel, and I sang for Apocalyptica for a while. And, while I was out on the road, we used lists all the time too. Set lists. And trust me, they were equally as important. So we're at the hangar. We're going to move over to the run-up area and go from there. Looks like everything is good over there. All right. Winds are calm today, so I just noticed that the aircraft in the pattern was using runway 10. That's what we'll be using. Everything's pretty icy today on the runway and taxiways, so differential braking is a little interesting. Okay, now that we're here, we're going to go ahead and go back to our checklist. Engine warm up, we got that done already. Taxiing, we handled that. Altimeter has been set. Trim is set. Control system, good. Let's see, sure we're all good here. All right. Cockpit canopy is closed and locked. Confirmed. Safety harnesses are tight. Fuel selector is on left. We have 9 gallons in each tank. Ignition switch on. Good, good. Wing flaps extended as necessary. Gonna go ahead and handle the run-up procedure now. So what we do is we take everything up to 4,000 RPMs. on so much ice here, I can't even do my run up here. Let's try this. Right. Both. Left. Both. Idle. Okay, everything's good there. I'm gonna go ahead and take out the parachute pin. This plane is equipped with a BRS chute, much like your Cirrus aircraft. And now we're gonna make sure everything is set here. And good.
We're here on traffic, airway 323. Oakland, Troy, traffic, Sport Cruiser 85, Papa Bravo, departing runway 10 to the north, Troy.
Taps coming up. And we're going ahead and climbing up to 2500 MSL right now. Nice cold day. Altimeter 30.48. Alright. We were climbing at about 1200 feet per minute at VY, which is the best rate of climb speed. Picking up our speed now after leveling off. And we're heading straight north. We're actually heading up to an area called the Ford Proving Grounds. Kind of a nice area to do things like turns around a point and S-turns over like a road, for example. So some of the things I wanted to go over today, I wanted to do some stalls, I wanted to do some slow flight, I'm going to be doing some turns around a point, I'm going to be doing some S-turns, and then we're going to go work on some landings, we're going to do some short field and soft field takeoffs and landings. That is the agenda for the day. On a warmer day, I would probably end up doing some of the maneuvers here once I've kind of gotten out of some of the populated area. However, because of the canopy not quite thawing out yet, we're going to continue on until everything kind of gets better here. I want to make sure I can keep good visibility for aircraft separation. Switching over to the radio for Romeo, which is the nearest airport over here. You guys can see up there, there's a track. You can see where they do the forward testing there. So, we're going to go ahead and climb up to 3,500 feet. But just want to make sure that whenever I finish any sort of maneuvers like a stall or something like that, that I stay above 1,500 feet above the ground. And before we do any sort of maneuvers, I'm just going to do a couple clearing turns here. We're going to look out to the right. Turn out here about 90 degrees. Good. And then we're going to do a clearing turn to the left. Very good. We are just getting to 3,500 feet. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to try and do some slow flights. I'm going to keep it here at 3,500. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull the power back. Try and get it to about 4,000 RPMs. It'll require a little bit of nose up angle. That's taking us to 80 right there. Maintaining altitude. And about 3,800 RPMs. Now we're going to bring it back a little further. About 3,500 RPMs. Right, that's going to take us to about 65. Holding heading, holding altitude. So right there, we are at 55, at 3,500 feet. Now with this one, you don't want to have any heading deviation of more than 10 degrees. I believe it's 10 degrees. Okay, very good. I'm going to go ahead and power back up, level off. Gain some speed. Maintain altitude. Turn back towards proving grounds. You guys can see the big track over here. We're going to go ahead and slow it down again. Going to do a power off. So, when I get it down, nice and slow it down. We're going to get to our flaps extended speed. Go ahead and bring our flaps out. We're at 55. This plane flies really slow. We're going to go ahead and keep bringing it back. We're going to go ahead and bring our nose up. 35 knots. Not wanting to go yet. We're at idle. Here we go. Come on. Almost there. There it is. There's Buffett. Full power. And when the speed gets up, we bring our flaps up. Very slowly. We're back up to cruising speed. We're going to turn back around. Once we get heading back towards the south, we're then going to go ahead and do a takeoff or power on stall. I guess I also want to do some steep turns today too. Didn't mention that earlier. Now we're going to go full power like we would on takeoff. Then we're just going to pull our nose back. We feel that buffet. Then we're going to level off, keeping full throttle. There you go. Ball centered. There's the buffet. Nose forward. And there we go. We wait till we pick up speed. With this plane, you really have to pitch it up. Alright. Now, since we're up here, we're going to go ahead and do some steep turns. So I'm going to get facing 360 here. Now the idea with this one is to not change our altitude by more than 100 while making that turn at 45 degrees. So again, clearing turns. So here we are, 360. Let's go ahead and initiate that turn, holding altitude. Rolling it out on the heading. There we go. Looking both directions, we're going to go ahead and try out to the right now. And leveling off. Okay, going to do another one. Look right, both directions. Always looking at that sight picture of the horizon out in front of the nose. Periodically checking your altitude. And begin your rollout. And here we are. Right on the money. Two on to the right. We are. Kept our altitude. Kept our bank at the correct number. Alright, we're going to go ahead and descend now. We're going to go down to within 1,000 feet above the ground. Ideally you want to be between 600 and 1,000 feet for these. So we have descended down to 2,100 feet now. We are almost back to the proving grounds. And there's a house over here and a field to the left. I'm going to go ahead and use that as my point. But keep an eye on my altitude here, maintaining that 1,000 feet above the ground. Keeping an eye out for traffic. Making sure our airspeed remains enough to keep us in altitude. And we want to do 2 turns around each point. I've arbitrarily chosen to do this to the left, but you never know what your examiner is going to want. It may want you to do it to the right, so make sure you're prepared for that. And for anybody who's confused, we're talking about the white one, not the really cool, huge brown one over there. Alright. Coming up on the second turn. Still great at maintaining the altitude and the distance.
Pilot traffic, Hero 236, 2 mile final for 275 over only. Pilot traffic.
That house is freaking huge. Alright. We're going to go ahead and make a turn to the right. We're going to come back and we're going to try and do this same one, same point, but to the right instead. If there were wind, we'd be entering this on the downwind. You guys can see it right there off the right wing. Maybe a little wind. And we have to do 2 of them. That bank angle was probably a little bit steeper than I wanted it to be. I want to try to keep these somewhat shallow. What can help with that is just, I guess, having a further distance from your object. Okay, that was our 2 turns. Alright, so you never know, we may have to do a S-turn across a road. So we're going to see if we can find a good flat spot here next to this track. Here's the road right here. Alright, so we're going to enter right here, assuming this is downwind. We're entering it at 90. Trying to go ahead and make a nice shallow bank, holding altitude. And when we come back around to this side, we're going to want to cross this same road at a 90 degrees. So it looks like right there, wings level, and there we go. Might have been a tad late on that. Nice gentle bank. Coming back around. Holding that altitude. And as we cross over, wings level, 90 degrees. Nice gentle turn. Maintaining altitude. Coming back over here. Getting closer to our road. We want to make sure we're wings level when we cross it at 90 degrees. There it is. Wings level. Maintaining 1,700 feet, which is 1,000 feet above the ground. Nice.
Hey, ground, second off. traffic, Charlie Golf, Kilo Golf Hotel is on the final approach for runway 01. 10, sorry, correction, and it'll be a full stop.
There we go. And wings level as we cross. There we go. Let's do one more. Watching that altitude. Don't want it to change by more than 100 feet. There we go. And wings level. Very good. Okay. So now, we're going to go ahead and work over on some takeoffs and landings. Short field and soft field. For that, we're going to go to Romeo, which is right over here off the right wing. We're going to go direct to nearest airport, and I believe that's D98, and we're going to activate. We got an alarm to switch fuel tanks, so we're going to go ahead and do that real fast. Very good. D98, and we'll go ahead and activate that. There we go. We're going to check the winds here real fast. See if they've come up at all. You can also look down to see if you see any sort of flags or anything like that. Any movement. That looks like everything's still pretty calm. Alright.
Romeo traffic, Sport Cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, 2 miles to the northwest, inbound for runway 18. Romeo.
We're going to do a midfield cross. While we do, we're going to look down and see if we can see our windsock. There's no weather information from this particular airport, but we can assume it's close based on our neighboring airports. But I always like to check. Actually, you know what? The windsock's not doing anything. I'm going to go ahead and stay in the pattern.
Romeo traffic, Sport Cruiser 85 Pop Bravo. We're going to go ahead and use runway 36. Romeo.
Reason for that is like that sun's gonna be right in the eyes.
Romeo traffic, Sport Cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, downwind for 36, Romeo.
Alright, bringing our power back. Trading airspeed for altitude. We're going to give below our flaps extended speed. We're going to go ahead and drop in some flaps. Wait till we're about 45 degrees from the end of the runway. Go. Bring that nose forward, keeping the airspeed up.
Romeo traffic, Sport Cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning base for 36. Romeo. Romeo traffic, Sport Cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning final for 36.
winds are still calm. Windsock not going anywhere. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a short field takeoff. So with a short field, essentially what you want to do is get out there like you're lining up, and then you want to basically put on your brakes, give it your power, let the RPMs build up a bit, and then you want to take off and you want to get airborne once you get up to speed. And if there's an obstacle, you want to take out a VX, then go to VY. And of course, if you have flaps that you deal with on takeoff, you want to deal with that as well once you're clear of the obstacle.
Romeo, traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, departing runway 36, staying in the pattern. Romeo.
The final is clear. Double checking that all of our trims, everything are right. Everything's in the green. Okay. They come on our brakes. Go and come on power. I can't even hold the brakes because it's ice. Alright, we're gonna try to find a dry spot. Alright, they have to be simulated as well. Okay. Alright, here we go. And our flaps are coming up. Currently right now we're at 1450 vertical speed. Now that we're beyond the end of the runway and 1,000 feet above the ground, I'm going to go ahead and make my turn. Our speed up, and then we can bring our power back.
Romeo, traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning downwind for 36.
So we're at the end of the runway. That's where we bring our power back. Slow down to our flaps extended speed. We get into that white arc. Go ahead and start bringing out our flaps. Okay, this time we're going to do a soft field landing. With this one, we basically want to go down and we want to just kind of hover along and set down as soft as possible. It's not really the distance we're looking at this time. It's how soft we actually set it down. We want to come down on the mains and then very, very slowly lower the nose gear down.
Romeo, traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning base for 36. Romeo.
Alright, this time we're in tad low, so we're going to add a little bit of power. We're going to start our turn a bit early. go. Better position. So I can bring our power back. Alright. I think I could have probably kept that nose up a little bit longer on that one. Always a good idea to make sure you're doing your checklist. Sometimes I feel like I need a checklist just to get out the door. You live in Michigan. You gotta like layer up. So, like, long johns, check. Heated socks, sometimes, check. Heated gloves, check. Are the batteries charged for those? Check. And once you get your flight bag ready to go out the door, make sure you don't grab don't forget your hangar keys and your plane keys. That has happened to me too. They're wrapped up in everything else, you forget the simple stuff. Alright, so this time we're going to go and do a soft field takeoff. We don't want to stop, we just want to keep moving.
Romeo traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, departing runway 36, staying in the pattern.
So we want to keep on moving, we want to keep our stick back, and keep that elevator up, so we want to take off in the shortest distance possible, and then we want to maintain the flight in ground effect, which is just above the ground, until we get to the right speed, either VX or VY, depending on if there's an obstacle. And then from there accelerate. Once we get to that speed, we can go up, correct our flaps. There we go. Flares are up. Flying early, maintaining it here, maintaining it here. Now we're up, now we can climb. And then we bring up our flaps. Alright, we've got up to altitude now. Pick up our speed. And we'll bring our power back.
Romeo traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning downwind 436. Romeo.
Just can see the runway out there. Okay, so we just got to the end of it. We're going to bring our power back. We're going to wait till we're in the white arc. Bring out our flaps. As we do so, that nose is going to drop a little bit. And then we just want to maintain our best glide all the way to the runway. What's important is keeping that glide speed constant.
Romeo traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning base 436. Romeo.
That downwind got a bit farther away than I wanted it to. That's alright. Get it all set back up properly.
Romeo traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, turning final for 36.
Going to navigate ourselves back over to Troy. Say Rec 2. Recent. AVLL. Activate.
Romeo traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, departing runway 36 to the southwest. Romeo.
Finals clear. Runway 36 confirmed. Nice out here. No nose wheel steering, so makes it kind of interesting.
Romeo traffic, air 83236, 10 miles to the north, inbound for landing. Romeo.
Gonna go ahead and continue straight out, leave the pattern. And once we are safely out of the pattern, we can go ahead and make our turn and head towards our destination. Alright, ready to go ahead and switch back over. Troy traffic. We're gonna listen to the weather over there.
Oakland, Troy Airport. Automated weather observation 173, 8 Zulu, weather, wind 170 at 4, visibility 10, ceiling 2,100, broken, temperature -6 Celsius, dew point -11, altimeter 3045. Mobile for Control Airport, mounting equipment, clearing snow from runway and taxiways. The runway is icy.
So now we got the weather over there. Winds are 170 at 3 knots, so technically we're supposed to use runway 10. However, because we, don't really have a lot of wind, sometimes the pilots can go in arbitrarily, so what I'll probably do is call in ahead of time just to make sure that everybody in the pattern is using the same runway. So again, guys, if you're new to aviation and you learned anything from this flight, be sure to hit that like button. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to the channel. All you gotta do is click that subscribe and then click the bell icon so you're notified whenever I upload new videos. But this has been an interesting journey for me. Everything that I've done as a student pilot up to this point, even the different aircraft that I've flown in. It's going to be pretty interesting taking that check ride, but I'm really happy to get past this stage and being able to kind of go out with family members and go out and fly to different places and explore, Really looking forward to that. We're about 11 miles from our destination, so when we get a bit closer, we're going to be descending anyway, so we can stay below this. I think winds have picked up a little bit. We have winds at a 170. Basically, we're heading exactly that direction. Our airspeed is showing we're at about 105, and we're doing about 90 knots over the ground according to the GPS.
Romeo traffic support cruiser 85 Pop Bravo, 7 miles to the northeast, inbound for runway 10. So, Troy.
Okay, traffic 785 Mike, taking 10 for departure towards the north. Sorry.
35 Papa Bravo, 5 miles to the north, inbound for runway 10. Track.
We're going to approach 45 to the downwind.
Short traffic support cruiser 85 Papa Bravo, turning downwind 410. Track.
Alright, flaps are coming out. Got slow enough.
Short traffic support cruiser 85 Papa Bravo, turning base for 10. Troy.
Gotta say, at least they're smooth. Alright. That was fun. Want to thank you guys for coming out and joining me today. Again, hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for the next one. Hopefully it'll be post-check ride. Don't think they're gonna let me have the cameras inside. Bye.